My name is Mewan Aikupar Ryntathiang, a student from Shillong College, and as a representative of the college, I hereby declare that we are honored to be a part of this prestigious competition. I thank the Dean of Martin Luther University and all the members involved in this competition. I'll keep my introduction short as we have a greater problem at hand. That is, my broken heart. I'm just messing around. Now that I have your attention, let's talk about the traffic condition in our state, especially in our capital, Shillong. People treat this problem like it's just a spit on the wall, something that is insignificant and normal. They look at traffic jams as being a byproduct of predetermined fate, and their pessimistic way of thinking succumbs to this idea, and they surrender to the fact that they can't escape it. Well, my aim and the aim of this video is to make people aware of their lethargic philosophy towards such problems by first turning the solutions into a trend, as we see that the individuals will follow anything that is accepted by the multitude. We can all work together to contribute to the betterment of society. Now, jumping to the causes. The rise in population along with the rise of economic activities have prompted the bacterial growth of vehicles in our state. Even though we can't stop anyone from buying cars, we can at least put a strict system in place to control the purchase and the registration. Well, according to Dr. H.S. Ranhotra, the state government should have enacted these laws back in the 1900s to check up on this matter. But I feel like it's not too late. Banks should take up the initiative to not make car loans easily available, as we see that they are handing out these loans in a very low rate of interest, and it accelerates the birth rate without checking the death rate, as very old cars, especially commercial cars, still get to renew their permits even though they can barely run. I don't quite blame the transport department, but we can't ignore the fact that corruption is everywhere and no one can escape it. Permits are being bought and licenses can be won through unfair means. Apart from this, with a sense of deep depression, I say that the size of our roads is as big as the gutters in major countries. There was indeed no efficient form of city planning whatsoever in the past. But I don't quite blame the people back then, as much as I blame the people today for not changing the circumstances. On a busy day, the 6 streets show symptoms of thrombosis due to car clots in and around the intersections. If such a problem persists, the city might just undergo a mild heart attack someday. The diagnosis that I will be suggesting for this particular disease isn't entirely my own, but it's based on examples that are set by our neighbor, that is Mizoram. This is not just an alternative, but it should have been, it should be, and it should continue to be an art that people practice, and that is discipline. The state of Mizoram is highly praised for its driving etiquette, where the cars run in a single file on the left side and the two-wheelers ply on the right side. There is minimal to no overtaking in Mizoram. It is sad to say that our state lacks discipline when it comes to driving. So, I feel like a no overtaking policy should be implemented in our state to check and find drivers no matter what status they hold in society. There's also this phenomenon called ghost jams or phantom jams that occur daily. But such events escape the minds of the multitude, as only a detailed eye can observe such minute elements happening in society. They occur when there is a disturbance in the flow of traffic caused by simple braking, the switching of lanes, the entry and exit of cars in different junctions. And the solution to this problem sounds like it came out of a comic book full of robots and self-driving cars. But I feel like with the advancement in technology, we are able to grab hold of this idea and turn it into a reality. And these self-driving cars will time themselves with such precision that they all move at a constant speed without hitting each other. Though this sounds far off, we need to remember that even the Wright brothers started with cycle paths. Next point. In many other states like Chennai and Assam, the government implemented a give and take policy of land acquisition and compensation. And to my surprise, it worked in many areas. The landowners were happy with their money, and the commuters were happy with the enlarged roads. We all know that it's not possible for everyone to accept this policy in our state due to the attachment they have to their ancestral lands. But we can implement it in areas that people are willing to accept it. Next up is a brilliant and realistic idea that could benefit all of us in the present as well as in the future. And that is the idea of carpooling. Awareness should be made about carpooling and its benefits among private car owners so that people don't prioritize status, luxury, and comfort over the future of our state. It's all about getting from point A to point B, the way I see it. The seeds can be planted in everyone's mind, forming their roots in our own homes, and we can tend to its stems in our localities, and we can expect to harvest its fruits in the future. We can take up the initiative to mobilize this idea and experiment with a smaller group first. For example, people having the same work timing or people going to the same area can opt to carpool together. Instead of 10 cars plying or going out from one locality, only 2 cars will go out and 10 people will sit in these 2 cars, hereby minimizing the number of cars on the road. There are around, fun fact, there are around 366,000 cars across the state of Meghalaya at the end of the fiscal year 2019. And another system of regulating traffic is to use a more sophisticated form of carpooling mixed with the odd and even number system that'll cut the number into 2. Even though the tone can be quite draconian, but it's for our own benefit. Institutions can also participate in this race by issuing buses, hence destroying something as superficial as status, paving a way for a bright future. Talking about buses, we can now focus on the commercial vehicles in our state. Due to the lack of proper taxi stands, taxis occupy half of the already congested roads in our city. And the embarkment and disembarkment points are mostly found in busy crossings, instead of areas that are more suitable for the passengers. They also cross the city for 12 to 15 hours a day. And to battle this, I feel like an upgraded system should be enforced. And to save the already hungry and struggling taxi drivers, the taxi fare should go up to a certain amount to help them combat the rise in fuel prices, but it should not cause any discomfort to the passengers. After this year, with great hope, I expect growth regarding the number of two-wheelers and disciplined riders running around the city, from rapidos to work bikers, doing their part for the betterment of society, while the carpool can cut down the number of cars in the streets. Coming to the last point of our video, I like to end it on a positive note by promoting a healthy lifestyle and advertising it in such a way that it will influence people to take up this route. Jogging, but most importantly cycling, are the two main practices that will not only lead our youths towards a healthy lifestyle, but it will also help with traffic reduction. Hats off to the people out there that promote cycling, making it trendy with their witty slogans and eye-catching ads drawing the attention of many. So as you have seen, there is not just one but many alternatives that can work concurrently to bring about a change in our society. But all of this will go to waste if our mindset remains the same. So I urge the leaders, the masses, and the people who come up with techniques and alternative systems to all work together hand in hand to help relieve the problem that arise with the growth of vehicles in our city. And I would like to give my sincere regards to the police department for also doing their part. I feel like they are unappreciated most of the time and people put a lot of pressure on them. And they are trying their level best to help with the aforesaid problems. But we can all come together and help them to achieve the goal that is set in front of us, the goal to relieve problems in our society, mainly the traffic problems. Thank you.
Hello, I am Marbamonlang Rani of St. Anthony's College. Throughout the years, Meghalaya has rapidly developed in terms of technology, health, education, communication, and even transportation. The difference can be seen if we compare Meghalaya to 50 years ago, before it even received its statehood. Back then, people used less electronics and often walked on foot but rarely used vehicles. But 50 years later today, almost every household owns a private vehicle. In fact, almost every member of every household owns a private vehicle. And throughout these past decades, we have also witnessed a tremendous growth in the population of Meghalaya. Because of this, the demand for vehicles has also increased, which has led to heavier traffic jam at present. Considering the fact that Meghalaya is a land of great tourist attraction, traffic jam is somehow inevitable. Tourists who visit Meghalaya usually have to pass through Shillong first, which is already the center of major traffic congestion. One of the reasons why traffic jam is such a great issue for both the visitors as well as the locals is narrow roadways. These narrow roadways are the same since decades ago. But a proposal to have these narrow roadways widened would be futile because both sides of most of these roadways in Shillong are occupied by either houses or buildings. So I think that a more efficient alternative would instead be the construction of flyovers. Also, another reason I think that has led to a huge traffic jam is the development in lifestyle. People nowadays would rather take their cars out even for the most trivial errands. I also know of people who would rather drive even for a 5-minute walk distance. I think that people should consider using public transportation for any small errands around the city. They should also consider walking because it not only reduces traffic jam but also ensures good health. In Langkra especially, where a lot of the educational institutions are based, dropping off one's ward in one's private vehicle is not advisable at all. There should be more school buses instead for every student so that lesser private vehicles would be found plying on the road early in the morning, which is the most crucial timing of a traffic jam. Another main problem of traffic jam, I think, is overtaking. Overtaking in Meghalaya is very common, and almost 80% of the drivers in Meghalaya overtake. And of course, common people overtaking is an issue, but VIPs overtaking is a totally different matter. So if the VIPs can't set an example on the road, how do they expect the common people to not overtake? So I think there should be an equality on the road when it comes to overtaking as well. And another problem that has led to traffic congestion is the improper use of footpaths. In Shillong, footpaths are more often used by street vendors instead of pedestrians. In this way, pedestrians tend to walk on the main road, which slows the vehicles down. The next problem that is very common here in Shillong, I think, is insufficient embarkment and disembarkment points. Most of these government buses, or red buses we call in Shillong, don't have proper parking areas or proper bus stops. They keep running around the city for the whole day. Even the already existing junctions in Shillong don't have appropriate parking areas. So whenever a bus stops, it slows every car down. And so I think that more parking lots should be established, and more parking areas for buses should also be provided. And most of these things that I've talked about are issues that could only be fixed by the authorities. But here are some of the solutions that we as individuals could practice on the road. Number one is keeping up with traffic. When you drive, make sure to focus on the traffic personnel ahead of you or the cars. Do not gawk at anything midway. In Shillong, drivers tend to stop in the middle of the road to say hi to someone, or if they meet a familiar driver with a familiar face. So I think that that is pretty common, and it shouldn't be encouraged. So do not gawk at anything in the middle of the road and slow everybody down, but keep your focus on the traffic personnel or the car ahead of you. The next thing is use two-wheelers. During peak timings, like in the morning and the evening, I think that people should also consider using two-wheelers because two-wheelers nowadays also provide transportation services. So it will be very efficient for people because two-wheelers are faster, and it will also reduce traffic jam. The next solution I can suggest is pursue walking as a hobby, and do not overtake. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all present here. My name is Muskaan Biswa, and I am representing St. Anthony's College, Shillong. Shillong, as we all know, acts as a center of attraction for people from not only India but abroad as well. It is a tourism's hub. It acts as a place where tourists run as soon as vacation hits. But these are also the very factors or the very reasons why Shillong is dealing with so much traffic in recent times. And today's topic throws light on this: Shillong, traffic problems and solutions. As the chokehold traffic does not fail us to impress every day as to how much traffic we can have in a particular day, you and I must have seen it in Don Bosco Square, in PB, in Moyong, in Maulai, in Yodo, in Upper Shillong. Is there anywhere else? Nongrim Hills, Nong Tmai. Everywhere, if we see each and every place of Shillong, each and every corner, each and every ounce is filled with traffic. The root cause? There are 10 reasons, my friends. But I would like to discuss the few ones that are to be really important, because traffic has become a topic of debate in autumn session as well of the Legislative Assembly that was in September 9, 2022, which came in light on the 4th day of Meghalaya Legislative Assembly. So let's see the 10 reasons that they think, and it came out in Shillong Times as well. Number 1, flyovers are not there. If flyovers are not to be seen in the city, then I'm afraid that 5 years from now, or even 4 years from now, I don't know where would we stand. Or we might just opt for bicycles. And I'm afraid if even that can work. Because secondly, we have narrow roads. The roads are really very congested because these are the same roads that they were 20 years back. But the only main thing is the vehicles are increasing by leaps and bounds. By vehicles, I don't really mean private vehicles. Commercial vehicles are increasing because people are giving permits to anyone and anyone for money, just to earn revenue. Corruption also takes place, if I'm supposed to take it in that way. But let's not discuss that. Let's just discuss about traffic for now. Thirdly, there are no private buses for schools and colleges, which we can see. As soon as we enter Don Bosco Square, or the road from Dhankadi to Don Bosco, there's Loreto Convent, there is Anthony's, there's Mary's, there's Margaret's, there's Edmund's. Fourthly, everything is in the heart of the city. 5 colleges, and everything are closely packed. Hundreds and thousands of students coming to their destination. How can we not expect traffic to be there, if we are supposed to think it that way? Fifthly, what do you think the 5th root cause might be? No computerized traffic lights. There are no computerized traffic lights. Yes, just like mainland India. I think we need computerized traffic lights. It's high time at every nook and corner. Sixthly, no checkposts. Freely moving of vehicles. There are no checkposts in every nook and corner of the city. And by that, it gives the pedestrians or the people who are like recklessly driving or indisciplined driving to overtake and go their way. That is another root cause for traffic in our city. Our roads are small and you can see if someone tries to overtake, this is one light and this is another. And third party is trying to overtake from here. How do you expect the vehicle to come and go? That is another root cause. Seventhly, people are becoming more comfortable by not walking and they just want to take a car and they just want to go by car. Obviously, if I was one of them, I would have thought that. We are not thinking about our health. We are just thinking of our comfort. Eighthly, the purchasing power parity theory. That is the economics term. But I would like to throw light on that. Purchasing power parity theory, which means that the purchasing power of an individual as it increases, our wants also increases. That means I have more money, I'm going to buy more cars. I'm going to purchase this, I'm going to purchase that. And in recent times, it can be seen that vehicles have been increasing. But anything that has problems, it has also solutions. So, Siddharth Kumar Ambedkar, who is the current SP for Traffic Management 2022, states that what can be done is all the offices can be moved to New Shillong so that traffic over here can be reduced. Secondly, the narrow roads can be widened. Thirdly, not only fines but counseling sessions can be provided to those who violate the rules. Fourthly, as the MV Act has already enforced in 2019, it states that juveniles are not allowed to get even learner's license because they take advantage of it and they move in their school uniforms here and there. Fifthly, they can work closely with the people of the community or the society in general, with the public. Sixthly, what can be done is flyovers can also be implemented by the means of government's consent. Seventhly, checkposts can be introduced at every nook and corner of the city so that overtakings are not being done every now and then. Eighthly, youths can come forward. That is like my personal point of view. He didn't state it, but youths can also come forward. Like you and I, we can make people aware of why traffic rules are necessary. We can be more aware ourselves that why we need to look out for traffic. Otherwise, we wouldn't reach our destinations in time. It's gonna take more than 1 hour. If all these are to be done by the present youth, then I don't think traffic would exceed by that means, because more than 55% are youths in roads. So if that is to be looked, then I think maximum problems can be reduced. Shillong traffic doesn't fail to be the hot topic of debate, whether in assembly or every nook and corner. But then as we look forward from today onwards, I hope people are more aware, and as we come in the next session, I hope that we have something difficult or something new to discuss about. With these lines, I hope and I really believe that with the implementation of new policies by the government and people becoming more aware, all these things can be resolved and traffic will not be as a big deal of issue as it is now a few years from now. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.
Greetings to everybody. My name is Adrita Bhattacharjee and I am a student of St. Mary's College, pursuing computer science as my honours in the second semester. Well, to begin with, traffic jams in Shillong has become an integral vulnerability for the people staying far away from their destinations, or even for the ones who own a vehicle. Talking about this personally is even making me feel exhausted with the amount of time it takes to reach from one spot to another. I mean, what are people supposed to do if they are staying far away from their destination and have to reach a specific spot at a desired limit of time? Almost every day, a letter appears in the newspaper talking about traffic woes in Shillong. However, nothing substantial has been done to ease the traffic congestion. The state government should have enacted laws in the late 1990s to control vehicle purchase and registration. But successive governments were not far-sighted and did not handle the situation, which is now leading to chaos and discomfort to the publics. These commercial vehicles crisscross the city for 12 to 15 hours in a day and are the primary leading reason for traffic congestion. Permits for commercial values are used without taking into account the capacity of the roads in Shillong and for the purpose of revenue generation only. The main cause for unruly, disorderly, unmanageable and chaotic traffic conditions in the Shillong city spring from the very nature of this hill station, its unplanned existence and growth. Its narrow roads remained since the British times and no one ever cared to foresee the needs for the expansion to cater to the traffic requirements of the 21st century. This is called visioning and we did not have it, which is why our future generations would have to see it, would have to suffer for it because of their underdevelopment. I've read from a recent vlog of somebody telling that the number of people taking up vehicles today is the reason why there's so much clogging in the streets. And to talk about this statement, every movement of a car has a destination. No car would be strolling around the streets without a purpose. Hence, a proper management can surely help people get rid of continuous clogging in the streets at any hour of the day. With the number of cars increasing each day, I strongly believe development of new roads to a specific place might help in stopping traffic congestion. Staying in Shillong since childhood has made me known about the sudden rainfall, which is what adds meaning to the beauty of Shillong. But here, I see people dreading rainfall because of too much traffic, and where pedestrians have no place to walk even, because apparently every car wants to fit into the road. And not just from the perspective of a pedestrian or somebody sitting in the traffic, but from the perception of people who drive the vehicles. I have seen my mother driving in harsh traffic and how her body would ache sitting in the same posture, having to pull the clutch and brakes constantly. It grows extremely pathetic for her or anybody else who's driving the car. Traffic police, on the other hand, I see, trying their hardest to control the vehicles in the main point, while during a rainfall, they are oddly distributed. It's about 2022 and my board exam center was at BSF. My exam was supposed to begin at 9 a.m. and to every agony, I realized that I reached BSF at 11:15. On my way there, I was astonished to see no traffic police there, right from Oakland to Nongminson. It made me feel helpless up to some point to realize that there would be having no traffic police to help the situation there. As said by Chief Minister Kongrit Sangma in an interview last year, he has mentioned the introduction of a pool bus system with a fleet size of around 100 minibuses, for which he is budgeting 20 crores for fixing the mobility of Shillong. Furthermore, he added about the launch of electric buses and e-buggies at the major tourist attractions to enhance the ease of movement for tourists and to promote low-impact tourism. I was in Kolkata a few days back and it was my niece's birthday. And I realized we were in traffic for less than just 1 minute until the Uber driver swooshed his way to the flyover and there wasn't a hint of traffic anymore. Since Shillong, being on its way to becoming a smart city, should implement flyovers for preventing a clog-free ride. Therefore, I hope the above-mentioned solutions could help us ease the traffic in the state. Thank you.